So it's late 2025 and vintage guitars have surprised quite a few of us, I would say, by quietly coming out with a range of 13, yes, 13 new affordable effects pedals for guitar players. Now I've had the very good fortune of being able to feature all 13 of them on my channel to date, so if you'd like to go elsewhere, you can watch videos about the various overdrive pedals, the distortion, the fuzz, the delay, the reverb, the chorus, the flanger, the tremolo, and whatever else I may have forgotten just now. But today's video is focusing on the three pedals about which I was the most excited before I started. And that is three what vintage are calling preamp pedals, but they're more than that as well. Now we've got the American Pie here, which is going to be a Fender flavored sort of a pedal. We've got the Maytone, which is going to be a Vox-esque thing. And we've got the Commander, which is billed as classic British crunch and is a Marshall flavored box of goodness. Now vintage say that these are more than just a standard overdrive or distortion pedal. And they're right, because these are preamp pedals, but they also have an analog cab sim or speaker sim built in. So you could use this as an overdrive pedal in front of your amplifier along with all your other drives, or you could use it as a preamp and bypass your amplifier's preamp and use this instead, or you could use it as its own standalone solution and run this straight into a PA or a mixer or straight into your audio interface for recording or something like that, because the cab sim is always on and it's going to enable you to do that. Now these being vintage, they're going to be rather affordable at about 50 Great British pounds each, and what I want to do in this video is show you the breadth of tones available in the American Pie, the Maytone and the Commander, and hopefully by the end of this you'll know which of them you might need to integrate into your own personal setup. So we've got 6 controls on each of the three pedals. Across the top you get a low, a mid, a high, a 3-band EQ, and across the bottom you get a volume, a voice and a drive control. Now the volume and the drive, pretty self-explanatory, but the voice knob bears a bit more explanation, and that's something of a character knob that lets you roll through various iterations of the various amps that these pedals are emulating. So with the American Pie, for example, you've got different sort of Fender sounds available in the pedal as you twist through the different settings on the voice control. So if you like silverface or blackface tones, they should be in this somewhere. If you like Fender tweed tones, they should be in this somewhere as well. And any other era of Fender tone should be available with this pedal as well. The same goes for the Commander. That should give you vintage Marshall plexi tones. It should go all the way up to roaring JCM 800 high gain sounds as well. And the Maytone too should give us a wide variety of Vox AC30 and other amplifiers across its tonal spectrum as well. And hopefully you're going to hear many of those in the demo part of today's video. Now of course these are £50 pedals. They're not going to sound exactly like the amplifiers I'm talking about, but the idea here is to get yourself ballpark at least in an affordable way. If you've got a boring clean amp that you'd like to spice up, if you've got a power amp that you'd really like to add some tonal character to, or if you just like a single box that you can use for practicing and even recording straight into your audio interface, well, that's exactly what you can do with these three preamp or analog amp emulation pedals. So now it's time to get to making some music with them, and the way I'm going to do it today, to avoid this video being super long and over an hour or something like that, is to run these three pedals with a looper. So we're going to start with a loop played on the bridge single coil pickup of my Fender Telecaster recorded into my Boss RC10 looper, and we're going to run the three pedals into the front end of my Hughes & Kettner Ampman Classic pedalboard amplifier. Now that's going to be on a pretty neutral clean setting, and we'll be using the three pedals as you would a standard overdrive pedal running right into the amp's input. Now I'll go through all of the tones available, we'll run through the EQs, we'll go through the different voice, drive and volume settings, we'll hear how similar the three pedals sound, how different they sound, and whether or not they really do give us a range of authentic amp tones from the likes of Vox, Fender and Marshall. So let's listen to that now, and afterwards we'll go into some more different options that are available with these three pedals. So straight away you can hear that we've got a huge array of tones available with these 3 pedals. Which was your favourite? Let me know down there in the comments which you thought was the best, but for me personally, I was really positively surprised by how raw and aggressive and how bright the Maytone sounded. It's a fantastic sounding Voxy sort of a pedal, and it doesn't sound exactly like an AC30, but it gets you into that British Invasion, Brian May sort of ballpark, and I really love it for that. But I was really pleased with the Commander as well, and I thought the American Pie does a great job of going through kind of the Fender eras of tone as well. So very impressed with all 3 of these, running them as overdrive pedals into the front of the amplifier. And what we're going to do now is run a different loop. And what I'm going to do here is pick a couple of my favorite tones, and first we'll run into the front end of my amplifier, just as we did with the previous loop. Then we'll bypass the amp's preamp and we'll run into its effects return, so the preamp won't be in operation at all. We'll be using the 3 pedals exclusively to sculpt our preamp tones, and after that we'll get rid of the amp entirely and we'll run the 3 pedals directly into an input on my Focusrite Scarlett audio interface, and we'll hear how those sound. And just so you know, I haven't done any post-production on any of these sound settings whatsoever, so exactly what I'm running into my recording software is exactly what you're going to be hearing as well. So enjoy the different sound samples, let me know which you think sounds best, and I'll give you a few more of my opinions afterwards. So I think what you can take from that section is that these three pedals sound very, very different depending on how you integrate them into your setup. I was very impressed by all three of them again when running them straight into the front end of the amplifier, and once again I have to say I loved the directness and the aggression of the Maytone more than the other two. And when we ran them as preamps, bypassing the preamp on the amplifier itself, well, you could straight away hear how much darker the whole thing is. I really had to compensate by whacking up the treble control, playing with the voice, the volume and the drive controls too, to get it to a place where I personally liked it as much. But I thought they all sounded great, they all sounded full and fat and authentic in that way too. And again, the Maytone excelled for me, although I loved the Marshall-esque crunches of the Commander, and the American Pie once again did a great smorgasbord of Fender-esque tones too. Once again, things changed radically when we ran the three pedals straight into the audio interface with no amplifier whatsoever in the middle, and there I actually thought that the Maytone was the worst sounding of the three by far. It sounded small and tinny and buzzy, and it just didn't sound like a decent, authentic emulation of an amplifier to me whatsoever. However, I have to say that the American Pie sounded great there, and the Commander sounded great there as well. So this is all about which of the three is going to work best for you and your personal use case. Now you could end up buying one, two or even three of these, and then you've got a whole array of tones that will do any sort of classic amp job for you. But again, work out how you would be using these pedals, if you'd have them on a pedal board like a standard drive, if you'd be using them direct, or if you'd be using them as a preamp, and you might know which one is going to work best for you. Now I don't really think you can go wrong with these. For 50 great British pounds, the price is really decent in today's society. The build quality is decent enough as well. You get a huge array of tones. They're not that big either, and you can power them very easily via a standard 9-volt power supply. So I'd say they're a no-brainer if you're into this kind of thing. However, there is one mid-sized elephant in the room here, and that's that Vintage are by far from being the first company to offer this pedal. Possibly even these identical pedals. You'll probably know ranges from the likes of Harley Benton, Joe-Yo and Kayleen, who do their American Sound, their True Tone series and so on, and those are all going to be very similar if not identical pedals, so make sure you check out some of those as well. And all of these pedals, as far as I know, are descended from the original Tech 21 character series of pedals. Tech 21 are famous for their Sans amp free setups that they offer, and the character pedals, there were more than just Marshall, Vox and Fender emulations available there, but they did all of this and more. And what they had, which I think is lacking in all of the other pedals, is a button that let you turn the cab sim off and on at will, and that meant that if you were running the pedals into the front end of your amp, you didn't need to have the cab sim running too. Now I don't think it's a problem, and I don't think the cab sim here is really negatively affecting your tone if you're using these as a drive pedal. However, the option to turn it off and on is something that you would get if you were to secure yourself one of the original Tech 21 character pedals, which you'd have to do via a used site, by the way, because they're no longer available to buy new. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found a new vintage preamp pedal that could work for you in future. Let me know which one you thought sounded best, and let me know your favorite from the range of 13. Which would you add to your own pedal board? I'd love to hear what you folks think, so let me know in the comments as ever. And if you have any questions about these three pedals, or indeed any of the vintage effects range, then let me know and I shall do my best to answer you. And if you're still around, it would really make my day if you wanted to give this video a like, or maybe even sub to my little channel, because that really does help. But that's been it for today's video. I've been Rich, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.